मैंने जब ड्रम खोला तो आप सोच भी नहीं सकते मेरी क्या हालत हुई। उसमें लोथड़े थे और एसिड से मेरे हाथ जल गए और उसको वो सब कुछ वहाँ मौजूद था।
You've probably heard of serial killers like Ted Bundy, Jeffrey Dahmer, Pedro Lopez, and Jack the Ripper. But today I'm going to tell you about a serial killer who murdered 100 children in 6 months, whose ages were between 6 and 16 years. He didn't just take their lives, he dissolved their bodies in drums of hydrochloric acid and dumped the remains into a river. And this monster wasn't from some far-off land. He was from Lahore, Pakistan. On 22nd December 1999, while the Lahore police were busy with their routine work, they received a letter with the following text: "My count has reached 100. He was a handsome 16-year-old boy. He came from Peshawar. With the grace of God, my mission is complete. Tears roll down my cheeks. I will make sure that my mission and my message reach the world." At the end of the letter, he provided an address, 16B Ravi Road. The man behind the letter, Javed Iqbal, one of the most horrifying serial killers in history. But one question remains. Why exactly 100 children? Not one more, not one less. Why did he stop there? In this video, I will answer that question. So let's begin. When the police read the letter, they immediately went to the address. When they knocked on the door, 38-year-old Javed Iqbal came out of the house. When the police asked him about the letter, he put his pistol to his head and told the police to leave, or he would kill himself. Seeing this, the police left the place because they were thinking, how could he kill 100 children? Either he is lying or mentally unstable. But they had no idea that they were letting Pakistan's most dangerous serial killer walk free. When the police left, Javed Iqbal became very upset because he wanted his story to reach the entire world. On December 23rd, he sent a letter to the chief news editor of Daily Jang, Naeem Hashmi. This time, he attached pictures of 75 children with the letter and included a 32-page diary. The diary contained horrifying details, the children's names, ages, addresses, the times they were killed, and the type of acid he used to dissolve their bodies. In the letter, it was also mentioned that his house had 2 rooms. One room contained 100 pairs of children's shoes, and the other room had a drum of acid and 2 sacks. One sack contained 100 children's clothes, while the other sack held the bones of those 100 children. There was also a note in the letter stating that he had deliberately left the bodies in the house so that the authorities could find them. At the end of the letter, he provided his address, 16B Ravi Road. After reading the letter, Naeem Hashmi, along with a friend, went to 16B Ravi Road. However, the gate was locked. They climbed over the wall to enter the house. As soon as they entered, they were hit by a foul smell. When they opened the door, they were shocked to see everything described in the letter. The children's shoes, clothes, and all the evidence were there, just as he had written. Naeem Hashmi published the story in his newspaper the very next day. This news not only shocked Pakistan, but also shook the entire world. After this, Lahore police sprang into action and conducted raids at various places, but Javed Iqbal was nowhere to be found. However, on 29th December 1999, he voluntarily got himself arrested in front of the Daily Jang office because he feared for his life and was concerned that the police would kill him. Unlike most serial killers who work alone, Javed Iqbal was an exception, having 3 accomplices. Instead of recruiting adults, he manipulated runaway teenage boys to help him. Sajid Ahmed, his main accomplice, was just 17 years old. 2 others, Muhammad Nadeem, 15 years old, and Muhammad Sabir, 13 years old, were also involved. Nadeem was found guilty of 13 murders and sentenced to 182 years in prison, while Sabir received a 63-year sentence for his role in the crimes. When Javed Iqbal was found guilty of 100 murders, Judge Allah Bakhsh issued a chilling sentence. He should be strangled 100 times. His body should be cut into 100 pieces and put in acid, just as he did to his victims. The disappearance of children during this period had raised alarms. The horrifying reality was only uncovered later. On July 20th, 1999, Faisal Razak, 9 years old, left home for work but never returned. Shakil Hassan, 13 years old, disappeared after school, and Faraz Khan vanished while running errands. Other children like Zishan Nazir, Abdul Majid, and Taslim Hussain also went missing from Lahore's streets and parks. All these cases were later linked to Javed Iqbal. Javed Iqbal's life had always been troubled. Born as the sixth of 8 siblings, he was known for his quarrelsome nature. As he grew older, he pursued both lawful and unlawful desires. Eventually, his father gave him a steel pipe manufacturing factory. There, he employed young children and even installed an aquarium to lure them in. Now, let's return to the question I asked at the beginning. Why exactly 100 children? Why not more? The answer lies in an incident in 1998. On 17 September 1998, Javed Iqbal brought a boy with him on the pretext of giving him a massage, and he used this excuse to have sex with him, which deeply upset the boy. The boy initially believed he had been brought for a massage, but instead Javed had sex with him. When Javed Iqbal fell asleep after sex, a boy hit him with a gun, injuring him severely. As a result, Javed Iqbal was admitted to the General Hospital Lahore, where he remained for several months. His mother, who was an old woman, used to come every day to pray for her son, Javed Iqbal's recovery. Because of this incident, the stress of the situation took a toll on her health, and she passed away during his hospitalization. This event caused Javed Iqbal immense pain, and he believed that everything that happened was due to that boy. In that moment of anger, he made a chilling vow saying, "I will make 100 mothers cry because that boy made my mother cry, and my mother died because of him." On 22nd June 1999, he committed his first murder. Javed Iqbal primarily targeted street boys and children who had run away from home. He usually found these children at railway stations and brought them to his house. He offered them money, gave them new clothes, and convinced them to come home with him. At home, he would let them watch TV, but then abuse them sexually. Afterward, he strangled them with a rope. Once they were dead, he dissolved their bodies in acid and disposed of the remains in a nearby river. Javed Iqbal's crimes remain one of the darkest chapters in Pakistan's history. His calculated actions and the sheer scale of his brutality left an indelible mark on the country and the world. Thank you for watching, and be sure to leave your thoughts in the comments below. What serial killer story would you like us to cover in future videos?